Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
Town of Exeter Arts and Culture Advisory Commission meeting here on Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Do you have the minutes? So the minutes have been posted, so we can...
Yes?
Okay.
Do you want does
Sure.
anybody want to see them?
Does anyone?
I read through them.
Okay.
My notes are...
Wow.
I've seen them.
Okay.
They look great to me.
Yep.
So does anyone want to make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes as written.
I second your motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
And I think you're supposed to write down. Do you want me to write it down?
Yeah, you can do that.
They were from May 28th.
Pardon me?
May 28th meeting minutes.
All right, let me see here. I need a pen.
Are you go?
Are you doing it? or
No,
am
I just tried-
Okay, May 28th. Okay.
Thanks. Okay, so seeing as how we haven't met in, I think, 4 or 5 months, reopening the discussion of a permanent meeting schedule is probably a logical move. As of right now, we're at 4th Tuesday of every month, this is not it. So
Right,
we
I was gonna say.
are scheduled to meet again on October 22nd. I can do the same thing. I think Dawn mentioned that she has a second job where she's got some conflicts on weeknights. I think for Mary Page, it's just sort of depends on the date. Does the 4th Tuesday still work for you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
fine.
Tuesday, yeah, as long as I know I can schedule around it.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
All right, then let's shoot to try to get everybody here for the next one, or as many people as possible, and I can reach out to Dawn and see if...
We may want to think about that. I mean, November and December, it's not going to work out well because we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas around that time.
Yeah.
So
Tuesdays, though.
we may want to just,
Right now, your website page says second Tuesday, so you guys
Right.
must have changed that at some point?
Okay. Well, I mean, we could also,
I mean,
Keep second
I
Tuesdays.
think that's better given the holidays.
where we're at now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would put us at November 12th, and that would put us at December 10th.
Yeah, I think those are better. You stay away from the holidays. November
December
12th and
10th.
December 10th?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Tony, that fundraiser event that we've been doing, the
You mean
application is in,
Nancy's?
yeah, I can't remember if it's the Monday night or the Tuesday night, but we can cross that bridge.
Okay.
Can I,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt,
No.
but there is a Conservation Commission meeting November 12th and a Select Board meeting.
Okay, I think that's why I think we moved to the 4th, I think, for the convenience of XTV and getting a room.
Oh,
So I just think it never really got,
Yeah, it's not
permanently-
typical that the Select Board would meet on a Tuesday
Tuesday,
night,
right,
but
right.
because it's Veterans Weekend,
Right.
Oh,
Veterans Day
next
weekend.
Tuesday, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that's, 4th Tuesday is what we've been doing. We just did this because we were having a hard time getting a meeting in. So why don't we, I mean, we'll figure it out for the holidays, but
Outside of the
yeah, if we
holidays.
move it back, and then we
Outside
gotta
of
move
the
it again.
holidays,
and-
okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to pick a different date, though, for those?
So I mean, the 4th Tuesday in November would be the 26th, which is actually, so that's leading into Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
So, I mean, maybe that'll work.
I mean, if that works for people, I'm not going to be around, but
Okay. Well, I mean, the other good thing with smaller numbers is at least we don't need as
Right.
many people for a quorum. Right, and the 24th of December is Christmas Eve, so we're obviously not doing that.
right.
Okay, so let's,
So I'm confused. 11/26, and what's the December one? Anything?
well, let's keep October 22nd is the 4th Tuesday. So let's keep that of October, that's 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
So at least we can try to get back on track, and then when we get more people here, we can figure
Okay.
out conflicts. I just don't want to change the 4th, because I know
Okay.
that's what Bob and everybody's going off of with rooms and Russ's
Okay.
office and all that. So,
So October 22nd?
yeah, and then we'll revisit holidays.
All right.
Okay. Next business item, proposed art sculpture in Townhouse Common. I think that is something that we just had going and just sort of fizzled, so I put it on there just to sort of get it back out. We had talked with the sculptor, Jeff Whittam, about potentially doing something over there. So there's really no update other than, I guess, just getting it back on the agenda and sort of revisiting.
Dude, what's the problem? Is the problem funding? Is the problem?
No, I mean, I think it was just us not, I mean, I think it had become sort of a back burner item, and then, you know, he was interested. It is something that we talked with David and Greg about as far as location and doing something in a way that it sort of matched the look of the gazebo and the cement footing. And at the time, I think Greg was getting quotes for replacing the walkway that comes from Front Street in through the little garden. So I think it was just sort of like, maybe it'll be a piece of that project, and then maybe, you know, that's something that he was already working on, but maybe we would work on some fundraising for, you know, a sculpture or something that sort of complemented whatever was going to happen with that.
So is the sculptor donating the sculpture, or do we?
I mean that's where we were in the conversation, and I think we had all talked about, you know, preference being coming up with ways to compensate the artists for their work. You know, I think he would probably be open to working with us on a discounted.
Yeah, because I know there's grant money that, I get those things all the time.
Yeah. So I think maybe it's doubling back and just seeing the status. I know there were several things over there. You might know more about it. Parks and Rec were looking into some lighting and different things, and I think it's just, you know, caught up in budget stuff and just not at the top of the priority list. So.
Yeah, he hasn't come to the select board, so no.
Yeah, I mean, this was just
So
conceptual stuff.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't hear about anything until they've got a budget and a plan.
And okay.
Well, if I see something that comes through from Lisa Burke McCoy, this is the New Hampshire Council on the Arts person who sends me all the grant opportunities.
Oh, thank you.
So if something comes through, I'll forward it to you, Scott.
Okay.
I don't know if you get those.
No, I actually I do. I'm on the
Okay.
list. So, but it's one of those things that, like, one day I'll actually thumb through it and look at the opportunities, and other days I just don't have the time.
Right.
So I mean, I think if we all kind of like
If something
say
happens-
let's something for public art, you know,
I'll flag it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many spots in town that we could use.
Does the town have a grant writer?
No, we don't. Every department does their own grant writing.
But the person that's done the most is Kristen Murphy.
For conservation
Oh,
things.
she's so good.
Yes, for
She's very
conservation
good.
though, so yeah.
She's done a good job. What happened with?
If you're dealing with Parks and Rec, a lot of the stuff, they would talk to them about grant writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened with the Hawk bench?
We are trying to get the artist, the sculptor.
Sculptor.
It's approved. It's approved by the select board, and he has the equipment, Joe Gray, to move it. All he has to do is get the proper insurance waiver to Parks and Rec to put it in the other spot. It's Bruce and I have just been trying to get Joe to commit to a time to do it. And so it's ready to go.
Because we've been talking about that forever.
I know. I send him a message probably once every few weeks, trying not to press him on it, but I'll do that tomorrow and give everybody an update.
Okay.
All right. Swayze Park turnaround. I'm just curious I've just seen stuff on social media. I know it was proposed.
I was wondering what the purpose of it here is. Conversation about the turnaround for the ADA accessibility.
Right. Just so we know, because a lot of us do events in the Parkway.
Well,
So-
it's not finalized yet.
It's not?
but
Okay,
no.
right.
And it's a temporary solution we're working on.
Okay.
It's wet in that area,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're gonna be able to fix the drainage.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really just for handicapped accessible.
Okay.
Because of cutting it out, the driving.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah.
people who can't walk down there with not.
Yeah, no,
access it. So that was
I get
the-
it, I'm just curious. if
Yeah,
it's-
but yes, that's
Okay.
what DPW has come up with, and the Swayze Parkway trustees think it's a great idea. So
Okay.
May I ask you something? Because I had somebody come in the office today that they were on a rant about this. And is it actually taking part of the green area in front of the gazebo?
No.
no,
It's
No, that's what they thought. And I said, I don't know anything
if they
about it.
watch the select board meeting, they'll see the plan.
And they
on
can
screen.
walk
Yeah.
down there, it's staked out.
Is it state, okay, 'cause this person was
No, it's
in
by
a rage,
the,
and I'm like, you know what? I don't have anything to do with it.
but it's by
That's
the
there you go.
green shed, it's a
So
full-
beyond the shed.
It's in, kind of in front of it,
Sort, it's, so,
in the area.
shed is here, okay?
Okay.
Swayze Pavilion.
Here's the pavilion.
Pavilion is, nope,
Over
no, I
there,
got
okay.
it.
All right,
Pavilion's
okay.
here, shed is here, here's the parkway. Actually, shed is like this. There's a driveway here.
Right.
And then there's a little bit extra of pavement here.
Existing, yeah.
It's sort of incorporating where it dips in this grassy area over here that is never used.
Nobody uses that.
And so it's gonna dip around and through.
Ah,
like that.
perfect.
So,
Yeah, and there'll be gates, so that there are proposed 3 gates, one at either end, so we're not looking at those lovely orange
Right, right.
barriers. And then one in the middle near the
Right, so
pavilion,
probably, yeah.
gazebo, whatever we want to
Before-
call it.
Yeah, between the shed, I'm sure it's somewhere in there.
Right. But no one discussed if there's an event going on, what will happen with those parking spots or the
Right.
gates, you know.
I mean, I
So-
don't, it's not gonna really, I mean, I think that's fine. And if the gate's there, then it's no one can get in this way.
Well, they'll be open and they're swingable.
Right,
so, yeah.
right. But I'm just saying for anyone that, like, performers and different people like that at our events at Powder Keg come in the back, but that's fine because this is, wherever the gate's gonna be is pretty much where the events end anyway.
Right, and when the Powder Keg Festival, because I was there, they literally can come in, but only till 10:30,
Yeah.
and they don't go back out that way. They
Gotcha.
still have to go out toward Newfield.
I'm getting all the complaints about that too. I keep telling people,
Well,
stop coming here.
Tell
I'm not
them
the
to write
complaint
an
department.
email to the select board.
I know.
Write a letter.
Leave
Write
me
a
alone.
letter or
They said there
come
were
to
only
public
4
comment.
chilies, and I'm like, I've never been. I don't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much they can do if people don't sign up to bring chili.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm out of
Okay,
it.
so that's,
Yes.
so that's kind of a temporary for now thing? Is that, that's not like?
It's a conversation, it's
Yep.
gonna be a temporary fix.
Okay.
To make sure it works okay, but it's the drainage. And then the idea too is in that middle area.
Yep.
So they're gonna come in
Right.
and they're going to be able to park, there's, I think, 3 parking spots.
Right.
But those are ADA, so
Right.
you can only fit so many there. And then if it becomes permanent, one of the ideas is to put a, what do you call, rain garden
Oh,
No.
nice.
in the
That would be
middle.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
the biggest
That's near the
expense.
brook. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the biggest expense are the gates.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's either gates or cones and barriers that look terrible.
Right. My only question, just out of curiosity, is I love the idea that there's parking, and so the whole idea is to make it more accessible so people can get close.
ADA,
Was
yeah.
there a conversation on like why not? I get the turnaround and it'll look nice, but was there a conversation like why not even more spaces for people, or is it
It's
just trying to
a
preserve?
possibility, but there's not a lot of room.
Okay.
And you have to have so many feet.
Yep.
Because I asked that question during the meeting. Because I was just concerned 3 people, ADA.
yeah,
But they can only do so much, and we're trying not to dig up the lawn.
Right.
And again, it's temporary, so we'll see if there's a need
Okay.
to add
And
more.
can't they also park going out Swayze
Yeah,
toward
yeah, yeah,
Newfield?
yeah.
Well, they
Yeah.
won't be, they might
No
not be
parking
able
there?
to. It all depends on the configuration. That's the idea, though, maybe a few more after they would exit.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
even
but-
just park
right.
along the side, on the curb
Right.
there.
She means
Yeah.
on the actual parkway going
On the
out.
parkway.
which-
Right, but so think about cars heading out toward Newfields, right? That's what you're talking about. So they'll be taking up basically 1 lane.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've got people coming in that can go into that little
Right,
turnaround
the turn.
area. So if anybody's leaving the turnaround area,
Oh, I see
Right,
it
right,
in
right,
there.
right, right.
it could be a little bit of
But
Then
a...
they're
if
gonna have
further
a hat
down,
on.
but- Okay.
They can't go too
It
fast.
always works
but-
out.
Right.
It always works
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Okay,
I listen to the engineers.
that makes sense to me. Okay. The town hall studies, future use update, I can't remember if we
Yeah, I don't know
got
if
to
you-
the point where everything was kind of,
So this is what was produced, and there was a presentation on May 20th.
right.
This is the conditions assessment, feasibility study. Arcove Architects, who led the project, did the architectural work. They had the preservation company, which is another historic preservation company, did the historic assessment, elements assessment. They went through and came up with a number of designs, presented a draft. I forget when the draft was presented. I think it was like December of 2023 or January 2024. Took a bunch of comments from basically stakeholders in that process, and then presented this here. Actually, it was presented here in the town at the Novak room. So, bottom line, they've identified areas to make this facility much more usable as a arts and culture center, including adding green rooms, adding bathrooms, making the bathrooms accessible from the inside, which is a novel concept.
Nope, they were available.
Oh, I think it's better when you go
kids growing
outside.
up.
So it includes changing the stairwell in the back, so that instead of the stairs that are now closed because they don't meet safety requirements, it would be basically a landing set of stairs, which would mean that that's a second means of egress. You could eliminate the fire escape that's hanging off the side of the building. So there's some benefits to doing that in
That'd be
addition.
nice.
Yeah, it would be nice, would be nice. Would also add some storage space, would add green rooms, would add storage and space at the mezzanine level as well. And I don't know whether Bob has posted this or not.
I will tell you, I have not seen that.
Okay, well, it's a fair amount of work.
And it's definitely not under the Arts and Culture Committee page.
Right, and I'm not sure how to get that up. I'll have to talk to Bob about how to get this up there. But the point is, the major items are new set of stairs, ramps, railings. The mezzanine would be made both ADA compliant and OSHA compliant, which it is not now. Well, I guess maybe OSHA compliant because I've added the railing, but it's not ADA compliant.
How,
The elevator
are they
would-
gonna have the elevator go
The
up?
elevator would have a stop at the mezzanine level
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Which makes sense.
Yep. Would include, I guess some of the other big items would be replacement of the elevator. That's $280,000, which sounds about right to me since we're doing that for a condo building. A lot of plumbing because we're adding bathrooms. We're taking those men and women's bathrooms and kind of rejiggering them a little bit and making them, getting more use out of the square footage, and then adding a family bathroom, and then taking that bathroom that's in the, what's called the art gallery space there. That's a giant bathroom, carving that into two, so you'd have more. And then
The first bathrooms you mentioned, are you talking about the ones that are accessible from the street on Water Street?
If you look, these are the ones from Water Street. This is the proposed ground floor. So you'd have 3 stalls in men's, 3 stalls in women's, and 3 stalls in men's, a urinal and 2 stalls. Then you'd have a family bathroom here with a changing station.
Okay.
The elevator would come down here, the stairs would come down here, so you could access it either by stairs or by elevator to get to the
Will
basement.
people from the streets still
Yes.
have access?
Yeah.
Oh, because you
But
have.
actually
to.
the- but actually
So if people
the,
are downtown, there has to be a public.
The ramp would
bathroom.
actually be ADA compliant
good,
now, which it's
good.
not.
Good.
So that's the first, that's the big changes, or the basement or ground floor. The first floor, which is the main floor, that area in the back that's kind of a no man's land, that would become, it's just called support here, but it would be built out with full floor, so you could do green room, you could do changing, you could do storage, you could do whatever you want. There would be storage added here. This is support, which is that current.
Is this
ticket
where
to
they
do.
sell the cupcakes now?
No, this is here.
Over there.
It's here. Little storage added here. But again, that would all be straightened out. Stairs would go down, would go up to that as well. Then you got the mezzanine level with the balcony. the stairs would be reconfigured, the seats would be reconfigured to make it ADA compliant. There'd be an elevator stop on that level. There would be an extension of the floor there, so you'd have another room that, it's labeled practice room. It could be storage, it could be green room, it could be a place just to wait to go perform.
Right.
And then up at the gallery space, well, again, all these would have the stairwell being closed here, which gives you the second means of egress. And then up on, not a lot of changes there. The gallery, this would be available now because
Right,
you've got access.
Is that where the couches are?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, couches are now out here. This is now just storage. That's the back.
Well, that's where they're getting rid
But
of
they
that.
had some couches and,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the stairways that go up to the
Right, okay,
attic.
okay.
And so that, and, nothing was done on this side because Bob is still there, and I don't know if there's any
Oh, gotcha,
any plan
okay.
changes there. That big bathroom would be broken into custodial and then two single bathrooms.
That's good.
And you can see from the elevation view where these floors are being added. You got a floor added there, floor added there.
That looks really nice.
Yeah. So the issue is the price tag. The price tag with the heating, it's actually not bad when you consider the old Ioka days, and is with contingency, low estimate is just under $3 million, high estimate is $3.3 million. That includes about $500,000 in contingencies, and it includes about $500,000 in HVAC, which is to replace, add air conditioning and
Right.
replace with a new heat pump system. So, I mean, all in all, considering that building would generate revenue and does generate revenue today, I mean, it's an investment that I think would yield some
It
return
has
on.
to happen.
And it has to
It
happen.
really does, yeah.
So our next steps with this, getting it out to the public so people know this exists and finally know there's some good
Yeah.
data and research and,
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I don't know what the next step is,
okay.
so.
I think there's two things. There's a number of next steps. One is figuring out how to pay for it.
Right.
there is-
Julie's been the key point on the person on this one.
There is grant money that's floating around. We weren't ready to apply for it this year, but I think next year we should be applying as aggressively for grants as we can, whether it's LCHIP or other grants through the New Hampshire Council on the Arts, because there is money available for things like this.
Right.
Well, it's just something we have to restore and maintain.
Well, I mean, we pay to maintain it anyways. It's
With
going to
the
be much
history
easier
of
to
it, though.
maintain.
Yeah.
And it'll be used a lot more, which means it's going to generate more revenue. And I don't know what the payback would be, I don't know what our rental increase would be, but if we have a decent sound system in there and a decent heating system, and you can use it in the summer, just the fact we can't use it all summer,
Right.
we lose 2 months of revenue from that space. So, I mean, I think it's a good investment. It is the people's town hall. I think the people need to
Are there-
support it.
A number of those packets kicking around or is it
I
like?
grabbed one, as far as I know. I mean, I can always get her to send it to me electronically.
Okay, I'm just saying, I think if there's more, it'd be great for one of those to live like in the art gallery or some, where people are
So
there
people can
can
see
Well, it
see
should
it
be
and see that
online.
it's what,
it
yeah,
should-
definitely, but,
Should definitely be out. So I did talk to Julie. It is not in the capital improvement plan for this year,
okay.
because I guess there's some other things in there. I don't know the budget process.
I didn't bring my CIP book, so I've been focusing just on this
Yep.
year's, but it goes out 6 years, so I'll check and see.
Okay. And then, but I did mention to her, would it make sense to do a warrant article to even fund some nominal amount, say $50,000? We have a capital reserve fund that's been established, was established by the voters 2 years ago, 3 years
And
ago?
how much is that?
Well, basically what it does, Florence, it was originally primed with only $5,000, but it set up the fund, and all the revenues that come from the rental of that space go into that fund. So it's building every time we rent that space out. And so there's a place for the money to go.
Okay.
And same thing if there were donations, or we did fundraising.
Yep.
Or grant money could go into that capital reserve fund. So I talked to Julia, I asked her whether it made sense to put some small amount in, $50,000. I mean, maybe that's not a small amount, but compared to the cost of the project, so that we can continue, if we need to do more engineering work or design work, that would give us some capability to do that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so I'll follow up with Julie too,
Okay.
just so I'm as knowledgeable as you are.
All right.
So that's where we stand. I think it's a terrific plan. I think the town hall would be fantastic after this, and it's just
Well, it's a landmark.
it's a landmark.
We have to preserve
So
it.
you know where else that might be is on the facilities webpage,
Okay.
because they tend to put a lot of reports there too.
Okay.
And it's a facility building, so,
Okay.
but
So
if
could-
not, we'll see what we can do about getting that.
Is there any, because there is like an ad hoc town hall committee,
Yeah,
right?
we haven't met in a long time. We haven't met since.
But I mean, but like technically that's sort of the group that
Right.
sponsors,
Yeah,
so,
that-
but I don't, does that ad hoc committee even have like a presence on the ad hoc committees have a presence on the town
No,
website? Okay.
I won't even say it's an ad hoc committee. It's really more just like a working group of
Okay, okay,
people that Russ pulled together.
okay,
So the deputy town manager is actually, or assistant town manager is actually the chair of that group.
Okay.
So she's been pulling the meetings together.
okay. Well, I think between all of us, we can figure out a way and find a place on the town website to get that on
Yeah,
there, so that it lives somewhere online that we can let people.
Yeah, I'll be here in the morning. I have a
Yeah,
meeting in the morning, so I'll check into it while I'm here
The
too.
next
People
step
need
is
to see it. It's a very good
some
report.
funding plan
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's not there. I just don't know where it would be if it is, so.
You know, and we
It's good.
talked
It's
about
very
it,
thorough.
talked
Yeah.
about doing this phased, but it makes the most sense. If you're mobilizing and doing work in that building, it makes sense to do it all at once. I never see where that works out better, doing it in
Right, like
phases.
setting up, breaking down, setting up, breaking
Right.
down.
and
I don't know how you could do
then-
it piecemeal.
Then you can't rent the
Yeah.
building out while you're doing the work in there, and then
Yeah,
when you're doing it again, you can't schedule, so
yeah.
you can just get the money and do it.
Okay. We good?
We'll get vetted out during the budget process, whether it's in phases or not. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right,
funding, I mean,
Sure.
it comes down to funding,
yeah.
so.
But again, we haven't even begun to pursue grant money for this. And I think we needed to have a plan to even consider doing that.
But we do now have the historical jurisdiction, right, that it's officially recognized?
Well,
So
it's,
that we can-
it's part of the.
You mean on the register?
Yeah.
It's part of the downtown historic district.
Okay. I vaguely remember there being a piece where it's like a lot of the grants and a lot of the funding for these types of cultural center updates, a lot of the grants, if it's a historical
Right, so
building.
if whether or not it's on the historical register or not.
Okay,
I
maybe
think that's
that's what I'm
where
thinking.
you're
The
going.
national one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the historic assessment, the past historic assessment says Exeter Town Hall is a contributing building in the Front Street Historic District listed in the National Register of Historic Places in 1973.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
see?
Okay.
All
Registered, there you go. Yeah.
And they did go through all the historic elements and look at the historic elements in there, so we know what those are.
Washington likes to give money for national things. Yep, that's good.
Okay.
This is,
Nice work.
if you want to get excited, Scott, this is what it would look like.
Oh, wow, nice, actually did a,
Wow.
looks good.
I even love the new chairs. You're not paralyzed what you sit in. Those old ones were tough to sit in.
I know.
Anyway, we
It's
should-
just memories more than anything. I ended up buying some and donating to Rain's Barn so that they weren't all gonna go away.
Yeah, I don't know why it's still showing that crazy green color, but,
I don't know
It
either.
grows on you, doesn't it?
oh, okay.
like a virus.
Let me see it.
Okay. On to E, and on that note, so
Yeah, it looks great.
the chair dollies.
Yeah, what's up
Well, so.
with that?
Well, we knew there was going to be an issue when we were all going back and forth. The people that are in there all the time, we kind of knew like where are these going to live, and so
Right.
he put one together, and it barely fit through the door. I mean, it's like
Fit through what door?
the door to get into the ticket room. So for a place
Okay.
for them to live, because if they're all assembled and they have the chairs on them, they're too big to be in the hall during
So
events.
did we not buy the ones that we were talking about the night of the meeting?
We did, but they're so big
Yeah.
that there's nowhere for them to live. So he built one, and he said it took him like 2 days to put it together. But it barely fits through the. So it's not something that you can like.
Who is he?
One of the public works guys
Okay, thank
that I
you.
ran into. I can't remember his name.
It's all right. I don't need to know. I was just wondering who we're talking
So,
about.
like you can get it in that room, but it's not something that like for an event you're going to be like whoosh,
Push it
in,
aside.
out.
So I thought the idea was to build just a little bit of a ramp to put the so
to be
that
able to put them on the side.
up on the side. That was the conversation.
I mean,
Right, so now they're
if
just-
that's the
they're
next step,
there.
if they'll fit, but then they'll definitely be, blocking windows and all that. But that's fine. I mean,
Why don't we just get smaller ones? I mean, I know we invested money in this. I see these small chair dollies all the time.
I haven't seen them, so I don't understand why they're so
Well,
big.
can't you put,
I mean, it's-
don't you put chairs over in that area too?
yeah.
That's where they are going still.
For people to sit there.
Yes.
No.
Sometimes no
Where I'm
overflow
talking
can go
about,
there.
they're
Yeah, on the
stored
side
there.
there.
Right, but the lip is not big enough for these dollies. These are big dollies. We got 4 to accommodate all the
Okay,
chairs.
so you say they're big dollies, they're like this, and
they're the size of this table.
that's not what we looked at.
It
at the
is. It
meeting.
is. No, it's absolutely. It's what you guys wanted.
No, I know what I wanted.
Yeah, but
Okay,
they're-
well, that's not, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not how, I mean, if they don't work, they don't work.
They don't work.
Let's just buy
So there are
ones.
smaller ones available?
Sell them.
Sure.
But smaller ones. Again, that's a whole other conversation. If they'll fit up on that lip, but I mean, since we've had the chairs, they're just being stored the same way the old chairs were,
Stacking, they used to
and
stack
they're
them.
designed
To
to
stack 'em.
stack nicely. So it's just the dollies make it easier for moving them and all
Set
that,
'em up, yeah.
but then they're being set up right next to where they're being stored anyway. So it's just like I don't.
Well, the idea was for convenience and manpower and to be able to pull the dolly down.
I'm with you.
And
I'm
take
with
the
you.
chairs down
But
and
it sounds
take
like
the
it's
chairs
more
down.
trouble than it's worth.
Well, there's one set up.
No,
There's
it's not.
3 that are still in boxes that
Sell
are
'em.
just like on the stage.
Sell
Well,
'em.
that's probably what.
I'm with you,
So
Florence.
I will bring it to the board. I think we all agreed that we wanted dollies. Why they're as big as this table, I don't know. So if there's smaller ones available,
I see them all the time for
Yeah.
folding chairs, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
I
But it's
guess we just have to address it
They're the
again.
big ones that it's literally 78 chairs fit on
For
this
a
big
stadium.
This big behemoth.
For a big stadium.
Well, they're the size that they use in schools, so they can like push them down the hallways and into the
Right, but we don't
auditorium.
need them that big, so.
Okay.
Maybe you could sell them to Exeter High School.
Well,
There you
that's a possibility. Okay, so we'll check that out. And then last one, the town hall sign board. Mary Page did some of her research.
Yeah, Nico had mentioned it. I think he was at the rep when you were talking about that.
Yeah, so this has just been an open conversation about just what is the best use
And where do you want to put it?
of the sign. Well, it's the sign
Is
board.
there the wooden?
What's there right now is just a train wreck, and it's no fault of anyone. It's just the way they changed the size.
It's too big.
They changed the system, and so then for a while, Public Works was having to put up everybody's sign, which is a pain for them. And now it's to the point that it's just like every group sign is a different size. Some people are just screwing it in. Some people are zip tying it to hooks.
Yeah,
Some
and
people.
so I wonder, I guess I thought Parks and Rec was responsible for putting the signs up. People should not be randomly putting their own signs up, right?
It was Public Works that was doing it, and then it's just gone off the
Okay.
rails, and it's just because it's different for everybody. It's not streamlined.
Yeah.
So we talked about, people had brought up replacing it with the digital sign. So this is what Mary Page, she did some research with the Dairy Opera House. That's a tiny little.
Well, I
printout,
always
but-
put my own sign up for Memorial
But so,
Day.
I tried to find, I took a picture of the Sanford town offices. They have something very similar to this. An electronic signboard,
Right.
nice, it's on post, it
Yeah.
says Town of
What kind of
Sanford.
intersection is it at? That's my,
It's right on Route 109, so it's,
so it's not like going around the bandstand and having something flashing and distracting?
I mean, it's not that, it doesn't flash. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it
sign
doesn't-
goes up, it's
Lights.
just,
Yeah,
it's lit, so
the
but you can change it, so which is nice.
The idea
Okay, thank you.
was to utilize it for everything, where it can be events, it can be town meetings coming up, it can be so that
Right.
it's an informational thing.
Water ban.
Water ban, but then instead of Parks and Rec or Public Works or everybody having to deal with these big clunky signs, like the way they do it, you can submit your little flyer for your community event,
It's
and that can be part of the slide.
So no one has to worry about signs being
No one
different
has
sizes?
to deal with all that. And Bob looked into, so this is at the Derry Opera House, and then Bob Glowacki said there's one in Portsmouth that it's the SAU Portsmouth school system that put it up. So this is what Mary Page reached out to the people. This is the sign at the Derry Opera House, which is also,
Here's the one from Sanford.
Okay, it's very similar, yeah.
Well, I went and checked that one up in
Nancy,
Kittery.
here's the one from
Remember, I
Sanford.
brought you all
I
pictures
know.
back, but that didn't work. The
She
Kittery one was
said
wrong.
it was done by
Yeah,
ProSource
okay, thank
Signs.
you.
Sure.
They're very
So it's not
pleased with it.
flashing, they just put
Yeah,
that up.
no, yeah, that's why I wanted to ask, I was trying to envision it.
Okay, she said, a few bullet points. It's all controlled remotely and turns off at 9:30 per town orders. They have had
Yeah.
virtually no issues with it. I believe it's been there for 5 years. It was fairly pricey. She wasn't sure of total, but the Greater Derry Arts Council put up $3,000 and the town footed the rest. They love ProSource Signs and couldn't say enough about how
Yeah.
great
I mean,
the work was.
it looks like there's a
Alright, so that's
company's
what
name,
they're
like
called,
Dartronics,
ProSource.
D-A-R-Tronics.
So we can look at pricing.
Right, so-
That's the name of the
Yeah.
company, I'm assuming,
ProSource.
Because
ProSource.
they're obviously, they're weatherproof. I mean, this Dartronics company must be one of a number of suppliers, but they're weatherproof because you're up in Maine.
Yep. Okay.
Close by.
Nancy, the other idea we discussed, which in the meantime, I personally think is the best idea, is to do something that's a temporary thing, that's just like a nice, whether it's a hand-done mural or printed, designed and printed or whatever, but something that's just there, that's, rah-rah town of Exeter, and then just has links to landing pages, and Bob likes this idea as well, as far as links to landing pages on the town website. So it's like, instead of everybody having to put their signs up and take them down, it's just sort of a sign that's like, whatever it says. This is what's happening in Exeter, both meetings as well. So it's guiding people to the town website for meeting stuff, but then also to something.
I'm picturing the Brady Bunch.
What do you mean?
Different squares.
Oh, okay,
for
all right.
different things.
Okay, well, that's fine too. Just
I don't know.
anything,
That's what
anything
I'm-
that's just
That was the
permanent.
vision that was coming. as you were
Something that's
explaining.
permanent and lives there, so people don't have to
Yeah.
change it out, but it's promoting a landing page on the town website, so the people doing all these community events,
Mm-hmm.
instead of having to put up these giant signs, it's directing people to the website.
To go see what's going on.
Yeah, so then it's like Parks and Rec doesn't have to deal with permits for the signs, and Public Works or Parks and Rec don't have to deal with assisting with putting up and taking down these signs.
So it's on the town website.
Yeah, but it's still, people can still promote their community events, but it's more, this will guide
It's
people
easier to
to a
navigate
landing
it.
page.
Well, it's a pain every time I have to put up those Memorial Day signs, because I had the right size and then they switched it.
Right.
So I had a new one made.
And I want to ask Greg, I just don't understand why Parks and Rec's not putting the signs up. And that way they can put their own
I think
borders
it's
up.
just manpower.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
still
never
think
have
they should-
been. It was Public Works for a while, and then
And they're so busy.
They're busy, and then
We
people
all
just
are,
started.
though, right? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
It looks like the company that does all these is a company called Daktronics, D-A-K
Oh,
Tronics.
DAK
And
Tronics.
Tronics, yep.
So ProSource is not,
I mean, maybe I'm guessing that ProSource Signs maybe is the like local
Might be
place,
distributor.
and
Might be
then, no, well, they
distributor.
probably sell them and
Then it's-
deal with.
could be what they're
They might
labeled
go with
as
that
too,
promise.
right? It might not even be the name of a company, it could be what
That
they're
would
called.
be nice to have something that would just service everyone.
Yep.
And is this the big apartment complex project? Is that?
Hasn't come back yet.
Okay, so that's, okay. So obviously, I mean, that little nook is potentially gonna be a totally different
Well, it's
world
still
anyway,
it's-
so.
Yeah, it's still town property though, right?
Right,
We're talking, so
right,
yeah.
right.
But it, potentially,
Okay.
Everything's potential.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
that's very similar.
To what
to what we
Sanford
already
had,
have.
and what Sanford had, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
the size and
Yeah.
the sort of
Yeah.
feel is similar
Yeah.
to what the framework we already have.
Hang on to those pictures.
Okay, I will.
Because at some point, we have to bring it to the select board if that's what you want to do, so.
Okay.
Picture, you know. I just give them a basic rundown of what we talked about, or what you guys talked about, so.
Okay,
Plant the seeds and let them know,
yep.
but I will find out about that tomorrow, because I want to know, too. So the dollies, for the, did people donate money for that?
No, the chairs, there was a lot of money. to it.
Right.
The dollies, the money came out of the town hall.
Okay,
revolving.
so you can't just sell them. We have to find out what our options are to get rid of them. They're town property, so we have to be careful. And
Right,
if-
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've just thrown,
How much
we
were
can't,
they?
we
How
can't
much
return
were
them,
they?
right?
No, it's long past that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been sitting in there for, I want to say, I
it's okay.
$750 each, and there's 4 of them,
Wow.
something like that.
Mm.
So like $3,000.
Yikes.
But
Yeah, we'll have to see what we can do.
yeah,
Could they use them like at the Tough Gym where they set up for voting and? all kinds
Oh,
of
at
things
Talbot?
there? Huh?
At
Yeah, I mean Talbot,
Gym.
yeah.
It's okay, I was thinking, they use Tuck Gym now?
I just,
Yeah,
there's not really that many.
what was it
chairs
when
there.
you were there? Was it Talbot?
Yeah.
right, it is the Talbot Gym. And
Or was
but
it at Tuck a million years
Tuck's
ago?
at the other
Old
end.
gym.
Oh, yeah.
Tuck's part of the
old-
original
old
school.
Gym.
Yeah. It's not that old, Scott. It was in use when I
Well,
was in
I
high school.
mean, when I went there, the Tuck was called the old gym, and the Talbot was the new gym. But so now everybody, all the kids call Talbot the old high school gym.
I sneak in and peek in, and it's just a giant storage. But anyway, yeah, there are no chairs for the
No.
Talbot Gym. Those new voting units are all connected.
Huh.
Yeah, so.
I mean, but I'm sure there's a market for them
Somewhere.
if we deem them unnecessary.
Well, I can't imagine Exeter High School doesn't use
But
something
the
like
chair
that.
would have to have the right chairs, right?
Right. I think they're made to be pretty universal.
Are they? I have no idea. Okay.
Okay. All right. Do anyone have anything else?
No, but it was nice to sit down with you and
Yeah.
to see you. And yes. What do you want to do about Bruce? Do you want to recommend Bruce?
Oh yeah. So
Become
we
a
can
full-
vote. Right. Yeah. Let's.
Does he want to become a
Yeah.
full
I mean,
member?
he usually comes anyway.
Move him from an alternate to a regular
Oh,
member.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do we need to make a motion to?
Yes,
You know what? Let's just do it to be on the safe side, and then the select board meeting is Tuesday night next week because of a holiday weekend, and I'll make sure we're dotting the i's. Actually, I can check tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I make a motion to move Bruce Jones from an alternate member to a permanent member.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And what about the empty positions? The select board has to select members, new members of the committee, because we've got to replace 3, right? So we,
Yep.
no, we're just missing 1. If Bruce is now a regular,
Well, we have to fill-
we've got Dawn,
So we got the 3 of us, Bruce, Don, and Mary Page. So
So we're
there's
missing
6 at this point.
so
So you're missing the Marissa's seat
And Todd
and the
Herron.
alternates.
Todd, one of those slots was
The
filled
goal
with
is to
Bruce.
have every slot filled.
Right.
How many more people do you need?
So we need
One more.
We need 1 technically to get back to 7.
Right, and then the alternates. You do want to try to
One
fill the
alternate.
alternates.
Okay.
Let me ask Kelsey. Let me ask her.
Okay.
We keep advertising. We need people on the planning board
Oh, I'm
really
sure.
bad too. I mean, we have a lot of
On the planning board?
vacancies. We have a lot of vacancies everywhere.
Yeah,
And it's always up on the town website. Right?
Always.
It says like
There's
positions available.
It has all the boards and committees and what they do and all the vacancies and the applications.
Well, who left the planning board?
Here, should we adjourn the meeting here?
Yeah.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
I second your motion or whatever it is.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.